Hey everyone, it's Greasy. I hope you had a good week. It's Sunday again, and today I thought I would just share with you a thought that really touched me again this week. And it was last Sunday when I had a Skype call with a good friend of mine who reminded me of something that I had already heard, but maybe not learned deeply enough a few years ago. And that was a saying that says, "The self always shines through." The self always shines through. So there's a lot of sayings out there, there's a lot of advice which tells men that if you're a man and you're interested in a girl or you like a girl, then you can do anything but not tell her. Because if you tell her, that will just send her away, and that is just not attractive, or that doesn't work, or whatever the advice is. And so in my early days, I had read that, of course, too, like we all do. And so when I liked a girl on a date, I would not tell her. I would try to act differently because I had read or I had believed that this was working. But of course, I didn't really feel too great about that on the inside because there was something, and then I tried to show the opposite. So there had to be a conflict inside of me. Until, of course, I heard that quote and I started to realize that even if I was trying to act one way, the truth came through anyway in other communication ways. So when I was interested in a girl, it would still come through. But the weird part then was that I was trying to act differently, right? There's nothing wrong with being interested. There's nothing wrong with showing that you're interested. The weirdness comes when you try to communicate two different things, because you show something naturally, but then there's another part which tries to show something else. Another example where that was really the case was at work. When my boss was telling me to do something that I really didn't think was a great idea. And that happened, well, I guess that happens to everybody many times. And I was told to do something that I didn't really think was a good idea, or sometimes I was also asked for feedback whether or not something was a good idea. And from what I used to believe, I always thought I would still have to tell my boss that I liked the idea and that I was going to be happy to do that. And that's the same thing again, I tried, or basically said something like, yeah, it's a good idea, I really like this, makes sense, yeah, sure, let's do this. When, of course, everything else, like my body language and stuff, was communicating what was the truth for me, which was like, okay, maybe this is not a good idea, I don't understand why we're doing that. And so I guess we all kind of have these situations or places where we say something that is against what we truly believe, right? And it's easy to just call that lying, but there's often sometimes behind something, a belief which says like, I cannot say this now because that is not honest, or that would not be appropriate in this situation, or as in the dating example, that will not lead to what I would like to have happen. Like at the job, I cannot tell my boss I like this because if I say him or her that I don't like it, they will be angry. And that always leads to us saying something or wanting to communicate something which is against what we truly believe. But the truth is, you cannot fool people. The truth is, the self always shines through. So when you like someone, they will notice. When you don't like your boss's idea, they will notice. And all of that is okay, that's great. I mean, isn't it great that we can't be fooled? There's just a weirdness that comes up when we try to act in a way that we like, or when we say something that we don't mean. And it then becomes weird because people notice one message, but you also hear the other, and they wonder why you cannot just tell the truth, whatever the truth may be. Aside from the fact that it's a total waste of energy to put on that act. So my experience has been, since I really learned this for me, like on a date, when I'm on a date with a girl and I enjoy the date, then I'll tell her, or if I like her, I will tell her. And that is when everything changed for me, because to me that feels much better. And I feel much more relaxed, and all of this energy waste is gone. Because when you can speak your truth, it sets you free. It's really a liberating feeling, and all of this energy that was lost on trying to think of something is just gone. Like, I no longer have a boss in that sense. I have clients, but since I learned that, I was able to build a communication with my clients where I can openly just say if I believe that maybe this is a good idea, this is not a good idea, and they can act the same way towards me. And it's just a sense of liberation. It's a totally different quality of communication. So that is something that I really learned. But once, of course, I was reminded of that again through a conversation that I had last week. And I guess it's the same thing also here with this blog. I'm not trying to do some flip charty thing like last week where I went a little theoretical. I just really had this thought, and yeah, that is something that came up for me. And I'm curious if you can get some value out of this. What is your experience? I'm sure there's still some people that think that you can lie to people, and that the truth, yeah, you can fool people if you're really good at manipulating. But on the one, first of all, you shouldn't want to do that. Why would you? But the second thing, to my experience, or like just what I've learned, you cannot fool people. They will notice anyway. But I realized that is a quite interesting debate. So I'd just be curious, like maybe what's your thought on that? Does the self always shine through, or are there other situations? How do you approach this? I can just say that is really what has helped me a lot, and it was a huge learning that I'm happy to be reminded of. So thank you, buddy, if you're seeing this. Yeah, have a good Sunday. As always, you can share your comments down below or share it with us in other ways. Otherwise, I hope you could get some inspiration. Have a good Sunday, and I'd be happy to see you again in a future video.